Hello boys and girls, welcome to the Math Club. In this video, we're going to talk about Mathematics Year 9 Achievement Test, October 2022. Section A. Answer all the questions. Some questions must be answered with a cross, as you can see, like this. You can put X in the middle of the box. If you change your mind and you want to pick another answer, put a line on this cross. This is very important to understand. Okay, and then mark your answers or answer with a cross. Okay, that's the idea. So if the answer that you picked is this one, you put a cross in the middle, and then if you want to remove it, put a line on this cross. Now let's start with question 1. In question 1, fully simplify. We have an expression here. We need to simplify it fully. And by simplifying, it means what? It means we're gonna add and subtract the like terms together. Like terms like what? Like terms like this, for example. Let me change the color. 6p and 4p. They have the same variable. So you're gonna add them or subtract them depending on their signs. So here 6p plus 4p. So you're going to work them out together. And here we have q and q, so you're going to work them out together. So let's start with the first ones. We have 6p here and plus 4p. So 6 plus 4 equals, very good, it equals 10. And we put the variable, which is p. So these together are 10p. And then we have the other ones. Let's change the color so we can recognize them. Minus 3q and plus 6q. So minus 3 plus 9, minus 3 plus 9 equals, very good, equals plus or positive 6q. 6q. Now, the final answer will be 10p plus 6q. And this is the correct answer. So as the book said, or as the instructions said, you put an X in the middle like this to choose the correct answer. Now this is the correct answer for question 1. When you simplify, focus on the like terms and focus on the signs. It's very important to focus on the signs. If it's positive, we use it, we add it. If it's negative, we subtract it. And that's very important. You can use the calculator to do the numbers here, the coefficients, and then write them with the variable next to them. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 2. How many lines of symmetry does this shape have? As we can see here, this shape, we're going to choose how many lines of symmetry does it have. Now, first, when we look at this shape, we notice what? Very good. We notice that this line is the same as this, and it's the same as this and this. Now, for lines of symmetry, they are like mirrors. They are mirrors. You put them or you use them to split the shape into two identical halves or two identical parts. Now, we can put a mirror here like this. This shape here is the same as this one, and we can fold them on each other. We can fold them on each other. That's the idea of lines of symmetry. That's one. Now another one will be over here. Now let's remove this so we can focus. Yes. So this shape here is the same as the one on the bottom. So this is another line of symmetry. So here we have two lines of symmetry. Now let's remove this. Let me check a diagonal one. Can we put a diagonal line of symmetry from here till here? Now, when we fold the shape, when we fold this shape here, it's not going to be the same. So a diagonal line of symmetry is not used in this shape. So here we understand that we only have two lines of symmetry for this shape. One is horizontal and one is vertical. And the answer will be two lines of symmetry for this shape. We put an X in the middle like this. Focus on putting an X in the middle so you can answer the questions correctly. Now, this is question 2. Let's move on to the next question. We're going to do 7 questions in each video. Now, question 3, which pair of angles are equal? Because they are corresponding angles. So we are looking for corresponding angles here. And we already said the meaning of corresponding. Corresponding means the same angle on a different shape. The same angle on a different shape. So when we say the same angle, it means it's pointing the same way. It's pointing the same direction. For example, when we talk about A here, it's pointing here. So we are looking for an angle on this side which is pointing here. So the same direction, it means they are corresponding. It means they are corresponding. That's the idea of corresponding angles. So corresponding angles, as we said, they are pointing at the same direction. So A and E are corresponding. It means the answer for this question is this one, which is A and E. Very good. Now, let's move on to the next question. You have to understand the meaning of corresponding. Now, before we talked about corresponding and we said it forms the letter F. So 2 angles which form the letter F together, like A and E, we said here. So they form the letter F. It doesn't matter which direction it looks at, as long as it's the letter F. And these are called corresponding angles. And we talked about alternate angles. We said they form the letter, very good, Z, like this. And they look in the opposite direction, like C and F. They are alternate angles. E and D are alternate angles. So alternate angles, they form the letter Z. They look at the opposite direction. The corresponding angles, they form the letter F. They look at the same direction. Now, let's move on to the next question. You have to understand all the topics regarding a question. For example, here they talked about corresponding. It means you have to understand the meaning of alternate and the meaning of opposite, by the way. Opposite angles are angles which opposing each other, like this, like C and B. They are opposite to each other. They are opposite to each other, C and B. So we call them opposite angles. And all opposite angles are equal. All corresponding are equal. All alternate are equal. And that's the idea for this question. Now, let's move on to the next question. Question 4. Which word describes the shaded part of the circle below? Now here we have a circle. Of course, we have all of these options, so we have to understand all of the options. Now, let's explain the options so we understand what's the meaning of this one. Let me explain the options here. So we're looking for the answer of this one. I'm going to explain the options below them, okay? Yes, let's explain them like this. Let's make a white place. Let's make a circle for each one of them so I can explain the options on each part, okay? You have to understand all the options so you understand all the topics regarding a question. It's not only about the same question, you have to understand the idea of the question and other ideas or other questions regarding the same question. Now, here, first we have to understand what's the meaning of an arc. What's the meaning of an arc? An arc is what? An arc is a part of a circumference that forms the sector. So it's a part of the circumference outside. So it's a part of the circle outside, like this. Let me show you. So from here till here, for example, that's an arc. Let me make it in a better way. Okay. I'll use this line. Sorry. Should be. Okay. An arc is a part of the circumference. Let me do it like that way. Let me do it that way. So this line here is an arc. So an arc is a part of the circumference of the circle. That's what you need to understand. So is this a part of the circumference of a circle? No, it's not. So an arc is not our answer. So let's move on to the next thing. Now, a radius. What's a radius? A radius is a line. A radius is a line that connects what? Yes, A radius is a line that connects the center of a circle to its circumference. A center to its circumference. So if we have a center like here, for example, the line that connects that center to the circumference, so from here till here, the green line, is called a radius. So the radius is the line connecting the center of a circle to the circumference. We call this a radius. And two radii together, we call them what? We call them diameter. Very good. So the line connects the center to the circumference is called radius. So is this describing the same thing? No, it's not. So I'm going to put X on it so we understand it's not the right answer. Now we have sector and segment. Sector and segment. Now here it's touching what? It's touching the center. It's touching the center. And as we always help our students to remember that, we say that center ends with an R or RE. So is sector, because sector is a part of a circle that touches the center. That touches the center. So the sector is a part of a circle like this that touches the center, like this. This shady part here, it's called a sector. And it's the same as the question. So this one here is a sector. Very good, it's a sector. And the last one is segment. A segment is a part of a circle that doesn't touch the center, like this. It doesn't touch the center of a circle. And it has to be shaded like that. Good. So that's the main difference between sectors and segments. So it's not a segment. As we said, it's a sector because it's a part of a circle that touches the center. And this is how you answer a question like this. As we say, we have to understand all the options here because the questions change with time. Maybe the same idea, but different question and different answer. Now let's move on to the next question. Here, question 5. Let's see. Question 5. What is the highest common factor of 60 and 90? The highest common factor between 60 and 90. Now, to find the highest common factor, we have to follow the steps. First, let me cover this so we can work here. Because it's common, so we have to find the factors and then find the common ones and then find the highest common one. Let's take 60 first. We're going to find the factors of 60. We're going to find the factors of 60. When we find the factors, we're going to use the same idea, which is 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Now, let's do this with the 60. First, how do we find the numbers here? By dividing. 60 divide 1, like this. We divide the 60 over here. Let's make a line. We will get the answer. Now, 60 divide 1 equals 60. Very good. So here, it's going to be 1 times 60. And then, 60 divide 2 equals, very good, 30. And then 60 divide 3 equals 20. And then 60 divide 4, very good, 15. 60 divide 5, you can use a calculator to find this. It's easy to find it with a calculator, but it's even good if you understand it without the calculator. Because 60 divide 5 is 12, good. And then the last one, 60 divide 6 equals 10. Now, can we divide 60 by 7 or 8? We can't, very good. That's why we stop at 6. Now, we found the factors of 60. We're going to find the factors of what? Of 90. Good. Now, let's find the factors of 90 here. 90. Same idea. Here. Oh, sorry. Make it red. And then another text here. Make it blue. Okay. Same idea. 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times 6 times, we will stop at 6 maybe. Let's check. Okay, and we have not even 9 times. Yeah, yes, let's do 9 times, because 7, we can check with the calculator. Dividing 90 by 7 will give me a decimal. I don't want that. 90 by 8 is going to be a decimal. So 90 by 9 is 10, so it's going to be 9 times and the last one. Now let's check. 90 divide 1, same idea as we did with the 60. We're going to take the 90, divide it here. Okay, so 90 divide 1 equals, very good, it's going to be 90. So I'm going to write 90 here. And then 90 divide 2 is going to be 45. 90 divide 3, very good, 30. 90 divide 4, it's going to be, can we divide 90 by 4? We can't. It's going to be a decimal, because 90 divide 4 is going to be a decimal, so we're not going to use it. Now 90 divide 5, same idea. I can divide 90 by 5. It's going to, yes, I can. It's going to be 18. Very good. And then 90 divide 6. 90 divide 6 is going to be 15. And the last one, 90 divide 9, is going to be 10. Now, I found the factors of 90 and I found the factors of 60. Now, I need the highest common factor between them. Highest common factor between them. Now, the word common means what? It means it has to be in both groups. These are the factors. As we said, 4 doesn't work here, so we put a line on it. Now, these are the factors. I need the common ones and the highest common ones. Now, let's look at the common ones. We have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. These are common. 10 is common. 12 is not. So we stopped at 10, right? 10. 18 is not. 20 is not. 30. We have a 30 here. Good. So 30 here and 30 here. And this is the highest common factor between 60 and 90. So the answer is 30. Very good. Now, some students use another method to find the highest common factor between two numbers by using the Venn diagram. It's okay, you can use it. The prime number, you can put a prime number decomposition and find it using the Venn diagram. Whatever method suits you, it's not a problem. Now, let's move on to the next question. Question 6. Let's cover this first. In question 6, here, what is this number written to 3 significant figures? So we need 3 significant figures. Now, first, let's write the number so I can show you how to find significant figures. 0.008947. Let's make it bigger so we can see it. Now, if a number starts with zeros and you're trying to find significant figures, you never start counting zeros. You never count zeros from the beginning. You only count zeros if they are in the middle. But from the beginning, you don't start with them. You don't start with them. Sorry. You don't start with them, okay? So you start with normal numbers. Now, you skip the zeros and you start counting the significant figures from here. Now, for rounding, we have significant figures, call it SF. We have decimal places, like this. So significant figures and decimal places. Now, decimal places, you start counting after the decimal point. If they need 3 decimal places, it means you count the numbers after the decimal points, even if it's a 0. So this one is the first decimal place, second decimal place, and you go on. But for significant figures, you only start with normal numbers. You never start with zeros. So because we need 3 significant figures, we're going to start counting from this number, 8. So we need 3 of them. So we count 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now, 1, 2, 3, we put a circle on them. We write the rest of the numbers, which are these, 0.00. Now, we look at the number here, which is what? Which is after the circle that we put, because we need 3 significant figures, 1, 2, 3. We look at the one after it. It's a 7. The 7 is big. The 7 is big. It's a large number. It's larger than 5. And because it's big, we're going to add 1 to the number before it. So we're going to add 1 to the 4 right here. So we're going to do this. Let me show you like this. Because this is rounding. This is the rounding. So we're going to round the 4. It's going to be a 5. We're going to add 1 to it. So the answer will be 895. And this is how you write numbers to 3 significant figures. Now the answer will be this number here, as we said, 895. And this is how you answer a question like this. As we said, there's a difference between significant figures and decimal places. You have to focus on rounding and how to do it. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 7. Here in question 7. Let's cover this so it can work. Here, the value of A can be calculated using this formula, or this formula, okay? When A equals 880 and C equals 140, what is the value of B? Now, this question is about substitution. The meaning of substitution is what? It means you're going to take the number that they gave you and put them instead of the variables. So you take the value of A, 880, put it here instead of this A. And take the value of C, which is 140, put it instead of the C. And then you use them to find the value of B. That's the idea of this question. So first, we write the formula again here. Let's do it here. A equals 4B minus C. Now we know that A is 880, so we're going to write 880 under it, equals, and then let's make it smaller, it's a little bit bigger, yes, equals 4B, which we don't know, so we write 4B, and then minus C. We know that the C is 140, so we write 140. Now, we're trying to find the value of B. To try to find the value of a variable, what do? We make it the subject. We make it the subject. So we put the variable alone and we take all the numbers to the other side. First, I'm going to take the this negative 140 minus 140. I'm going to take it to the other side. It's going to be positive 140. It's going to be positive 140. So I'm going to write this again. So 880 plus 140 equals 4B. Equals 4B. Now, after doing this, I'm going to add these together, 140 and 880. So 880 plus 140, it's going to be 1020. 1020. So I'm going to write it here, 1020 equals 4B. Now, I'm going to take this to this side, so I'm going to work on it. Now, to find the value of B, I'm going to divide both sides on 4, or take the 4 to the other side by division. It's the same idea, So I'm going to divide both sides on 4 like this. Divide by 4, divide by 4. And it's the same idea, taking to the other side by division, or dividing both sides by 4. Now this 4 goes with this 4, and we end up with a B. So B equals, here, we divide 1020 by 4, so 1020 by 4, and the answer will be 120 by 4, and the answer is 255. So the correct answer is 255. And this is how you answer a question like this. As we said, we take the formula, substitute the numbers that we have, and then make B the subject by using these steps. You have to focus on algebraic steps because they are very important to answer most of the questions. And then at the end, it's 255. 255. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now, we're going to stop at question 7. Each video will have 7 questions, and then the next video will have the rest of the questions. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.